What is up, responsible day traders? Today is Monday, May 8th, 2023. I am Lindsay Duff, and this is Responsible Day Trading. So we just had our seminar last weekend, which is why I didn't do a Monday video last week. We were just still coming down from all of that and just getting things together, and I was sending people home and missing them very much. So we had our whole crew come out and be a part of it, and it was just absolutely wonderful. I could not have been happier with the way it turned out. We had some people show up who really got some good lessons out of our time spent together, and we are looking forward to doing it again. So hopefully sooner than later. So we'll have our second annual Responsible Day Trading Seminar next year. So it's not a one and done. We're definitely going to do it again. All right, guys, so let's talk a little bit about the market. I haven't really looked at it much. I've just been so busy, but I know that we have had a lot going on. The market moved up, it moved down, it pulled back into the areas of the EMAs on the daily chart. It gave us signals that it was going to do that. So let's see what we can expect now. But first, as always, we're going to start off with the news. All right. So we're going to head on over to the market news, and let me just pull this in just a little bit. There we go. And we're going to head on over to news, and then we're going to go to market news. And from here, we're going to see what we've got going on for this week. Nothing for today. Tomorrow we have 11 a.m. So that's a couple hours after the market opens. It opens at 8:30 Central Time. So it will be at a couple hours after the market. We're going to have possibly a market mover. Wednesday, we've got three things pre-market. So if you are a pre-market trader, you want to make sure you're paying attention to that. And then you can also see we've got crude oil inventories and our aftermarket opens. Thursday, it's pre-market as well. Last week, we had FOMC, so it might be a little quiet in the news region this time around. All right, let's go ahead and see what the market has for us. So first, let's talk about this daily chart. Now, for the daily chart, what I want to talk about is what happened right here. And I did remove a lot of my drawing tools, so I'll be replacing them. But we can see right here, we pulled right up to this area of resistance. And what did we create but a tiny little flag reversal bar? So we had these big bars, big bars, big bars, lost all its steam, tiny little reversal bar at that area. And we had a really good idea that it was going to push back because we saw the way that the MACDs behaved. We just had these two blue or three blue little BBs, couldn't even cross that top Bollinger Band. Pretty good indication that it was going to pull back down. Well, it did. It pulled down with some strength and got down to this EMA. Now, one thing that we do notice is that the EMAs are starting to open up to the upside, but these MACDs are going to have to start agreeing if we're going to expect this area to hold and push up. And what I mean by that is we're going to need to continue to see these turn blue, which right now it's purple. It is only an hour after the market open, but right now we're seeing it purple. So that may mean that we're going to see this push back down again. So if this and you can see it changing right there. If this stays purple and moves down and starts to push us through the zero line, I'm going to anticipate this movement to come back below the EMAs, possibly back into this area again. I guess we'll have to just wait and see. But you can see how it shifted to that blue dot, which if it stays blue and it rolls up and it crosses this top Bollinger Band, I'm going to be gung-ho to see it go up through this area. So we're just going to have to watch and wait and see. And that's just every day, right? We just need to pay attention to what it's telling us and see what information we can pull from those charts. So let's go ahead next and look at this 28,657. So the 28,657 is the next in the bigger picture. So we've got the daily chart, and then I move down to the 28,657 just so we can get a really good overview of what everything looks like. Now, we can see on the 28,657, we've seen some really big moves happening here. So it pulled all the way down to this area, pushed back up, pulled all the way back down to the area, and we're back through the EMAs. So I would like to say that the EMAs have been a little wishy-washy. So we're getting back above, we're getting back below, we're getting back above. So we have technically shifted our direction to the upside on the 28,657, and it is to the upside on the daily chart. So what our expectations would be to be pull into this area where the EMAs are open to the upside and to see a push back up. But if these MACDs stay strong and outside of the Bollinger Bands, we're going to see it push through the area of the zero line. So we're really just going to watch that a little bit. I mean, we saw here, it didn't pull all the way back into the area, but we are outside of the Bollinger Bands here. BBs do have a little bit of separation to them. So we might see this pull back down a little bit lower. It does look like it's attempting to make the push up from right here, but we're going to need to look and see what the other charts say before we agree with that. And speaking of the other charts, so first we've got our 10,946 right here, and I'm going to pull these down just so we can see them a little bit better. We've got the 10,946, we've got the 1597, and then we have the 233. So what these are my trading charts. These are where I'm looking to really see the information take place so that I can actually participate in any of this. Okay, so first thing we're noticing is we pulled down to the EMAs on the 10,946. So those EMAs are still pretty strong to the upside. We have attempted to make a little bit lower pivot here, but we haven't really overrun it. So we do see an M pivot that has happened here that we would have been anticipating to push a little bit further to the downside, but the area of the EMA seems to be holding up the party. Now we can look at the MACDs, and those are outside of the Bollinger Bands, but with a lot of weakness. So it does still have direction up on the 10,946. So, you know, the immediate direction or the overall direction is up. The immediate is attempting to shift to the downside as it pushed down here. And it made a little bit lower pivot here and here, but we're not quite there yet. We've still got a lot of strength behind this move to the upside. So if it was going to push down, I would really be anticipating it to pull up just a little bit more as these BBs are shifting over and to pull back down. And also, if we look over at the 1597, we can see what's happening here. We can see that we've had the strength to the upside being outside of the Bollinger Bands. We are in an area that could push the market down. So we're kind of stuck between some areas, right? We've got an area saying strength to the upside here, and we've got an area saying possible strength to the downside here. Typically, what I like to do in these situations is let one of them win out, right? And when we're looking at what's happening here, it looks like it's trying to let the 1597 win out as we're picking up the strength to the downside in the MACDs here, but we're not quite there yet. So really, if I was to take any kind of trade long or short right now, it would give me that sense, that feeling like I was trading in the middle, because the low is all the way back here. The high is up here, which, you know, may give a little bit of a decent risk to reward to get into short, but do I want to short directly back into these EMAs that are strong and move to the upside? So it is a watch and wait for a little bit. I can see that it's got more, it's really trying to do that push to the upside like we were talking about earlier. It's pulled down right into the area. The MACDs just barely rolled, but we're still sitting in that area that could create a bounce. We haven't really passed through this area. It does look like it's attempting to, but remember what I was just saying, with this not really pushing up a whole lot right now, we may see this roll back to the downside. So we're still stuck between those areas of resistance and support. Now, if we're looking at the bigger charts, those do give us the bigger indication of what we anticipate. And let me just one more time bring this back up. I mean, we are still above the EMAs, still above the zero line, so the overall direction is up here. It's just really it's not giving the look and the confidence that it's just going to continue straight up from here. It does look like it's going to give the opportunity to pull back. a little bit further. So where's the next area? If it's going to pull back, where are we looking for that next area to be? Well, it would be right around here of that 41.29 area, because that's our next EMA. Now we can see that would still be back above this pivot that happened here, if it even is going to pull back that far. Right now, we're just kind of in a little bit of limbo. It's not really giving us a strong, hey, this is going to push up, and it's not really giving us a strong, hey, this is going to push down. So you kind of be just throwing money at it and seeing what sticks if you attempted to get into either the short or the long at this particular time. Looks like the long is trying to win out. It's really, really attempting with the pullback that happened here and pushing up. And now remember what I said, this looks like something that could give a bit of a pullback that's happening right in here. And we'd really want to see the strength pick up in the MACDs to show us the ability to cross that top Bollinger Band here. It does look like it's trying to show a bit of strength to push up there. But we'd really want to see reasons for continuation, right? And reasons for continuation to the upside aren't just seeing the strong EMAs, it's also seeing the MACDs in agreement with it. So we'd really want to see these MACDs pick up the strength, show the reason to cross that top Bollinger Band, possibly even pull back in if it's going to continue up from there. This would not be a really comfortable area to take these long trades when we hadn't really separated away from the EMA just yet on the 1597. So it's attempting to make the separation. If I was going to look for a long trade, like I said, I'd want to see it break through here, pull back in, and give me the opportunity. Otherwise, I'm waiting to see if we're going to have some opportunity for shorts at that time. So your first little breakaway here. Still nothing has really changed in this arena right here. I am still looking for us to get back up around this area right here and see if we can get through there. We did reach that area pretty closely. We got very, very close to that area right in here, but we haven't quite crossed it yet. So if we're gonna cross it, it's gonna take some work and it's gonna push through there. We wanna see it push through there with some strength behind it to really get up there and get through. And right now, we're not quite seeing the strength behind the MACDs in order to get up there. We had some divergence here that's pushed us back down. Although I am being optimistic, I still think there's a chance for this to get back above there and work its way back up to this 42.20 area. I mean, it's got a little ways to go, but we just inch closer and closer and show more and more reasons for it to try and push through there every day. All right, my friends, that is going to wrap that up. We're going to go ahead, call it a day. We are working extremely hard because we had to take a little break for a while from things, but we're working extremely hard to get the new curriculum out and also to have it simultaneously done on the Spanish side. So we're going to be sitting side by side working on that for about the next week. So don't expect to see a lot out of me for the next week, but after that, we are just going to go to town. And it's going to be great. So I cannot wait to have that out there. I will really be looking forward to your feedback on how you feel about the updated curriculum. And, maybe you preferred the old one. We're not going to get rid of it, but these are going to be much shorter videos. Some of those videos were 20, 30 minutes long. And so we're going to make them 5-7 minutes long, but there's just going to be a lot more of them. So it's going to be easier to digest for each of them. So all right, everybody, have a fantastic week. As always, you know that I look forward to catching you on the profitable side.